Nurture and Support begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Nurture and Support, a recommendation podcast. I'm Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter. And with me, as always, is Melissa.
Hey, everybody. It's Mel at Karmic9 on Twitter.
And we're lucky enough, a second show in a row, to have a guest. Not the same guest. We scared that one away. New guest today. We have Alicia Holm joining us. Alicia, you want to give folks just a little bit of background on you and some of your activities, and also if you want to share your Twitter account?
Sure. My name's Alicia. I'm at Alchemy Girl. And,
which I can't spell.
that is at OHALCHEMYGIRL. I know, it's kind of long, but Alchemy Girl, and my Twitter handle is named after my band, actually, which is also Alchemy, and it's 2 words with a comma. We are a indie rock band, I would say, is the category that we're most often given. We are a 4-piece. I play electric guitar, I sing, and I play ukulele now as well, and write songs. We do all that stuff.
That sounds cool. We have a real musician. Do you think she can sing better than you can, Kelly?
I guarantee I've had an opportunity to hear her sing, and I guarantee you she sings a lot better than I do.
Kelly briefly sang on one of our episodes.
Nice.
I don't remember which number it was.
Bear Lake?
Actually, not Bear Lake, which we'll have to bring up at some point in time. But no, this was actually a Frank Zappa song called "Advanced Romance." That the first line is "No more credit from the liquor store," which is a fun line, but it's even cooler when you sing it. Which I will not be repeating on today's episode. Everybody was looking forward.
He did a good job.
Well, another thing we do have several videos out on YouTube as well. If you want to listen to us, Melissa,
I will.
Just on our YouTube channel. So.
Yeah, we'll also
Excellent.
put links up on our blog post to all of that, so to make it easier for all of our listeners to get to and check out. That sounds
great.
Cool.
That's great. One of them is a slow motion water balloon fight. It's really cool. So.
Cool.
It's a great band name too.
Yes, it is.
It is. So, let's see. Do we have anything else to add before we get started?
Nope, just wanted, of course, mention that if you haven't kind of done the math yet on this, Alicia and I are from the same wonderful part of the country, beautiful central Illinois tundra. So we got that going for us.
So it's cold and snowy.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the weather pretty much sucks everywhere right now. So, but it sucks particularly badly for y'all because I'm in Texas.
Yeah, shut up.
Hey, I still have ice in my backyard, even though we got up to 50-something today. I still have ice under the trees in the backyard from our horrible little batch of ice. But it'll be gone soon.
Yeah, 50 sounds great.
Yeah,
I envy that.
We're sitting here freezing. If it gets below 70, we think the world is ending. But that's the joy of living in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we will go ahead and get started. I have a game for everyone today because all of you know how much I love my video games. This is actually a new game that was just released the end of February, and it's called Banished, and it is by a company called Shining Rock Software. And it's actually a company that consists of just one guy. One guy built this entire game and released it. I don't believe it's available on any platform but PC. It's only $19.99, and it's available on Steam and one of my previous recommendations, the Humble store. So if you buy it from Humble, you can kick a little money to charity. And it's also available on GOG.com, that's GOG.com, and from the website, which is shiningrocksoftware.com. But this is one of my favorite type of games, the ones I end up playing most because I kind of suck at shooters. But it's a city building type strategy game. Are either of you SimCity type gamers? Ever played those?
I've watched them being played. Does that count?
Sure. I love watching some of the games. They're like movies, but when I can't play those shooters, I love to watch other people play them.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched other people watch it maybe like from a couch because it's pretty hard to actually get up on. Yeah, I mean, and so back in my again in the good old Stone Age days, SimCity on the Commodore Amiga. So I had some ample opportunity to play a lot of The Sims, and not only SimCity but Sim Ant, where you built your own ant colony. And
I remember Sim Ant.
Yes, and the lawnmower was a dangerous thing.
It was. Terrified of the lawnmower. Yeah, I liked Sim Ant. This is a similar type game to SimCity in that your purpose is you're building up a city, but it's very, very strategy intensive in that you have to manage your resources. Essentially, I guess why it's named Banished, though they never tell you, you have a little group of people who've been banished from whatever country they originally came from, and they have to set up a new city, a new place somewhere else. And your job as their omnipotent overlooker is to help them build this city. So the first thing you have to do is build shelters and help them get food, because one of your biggest problems in the game is maintaining your population. And you have to harvest trees and rocks to build houses and desperately try to find these people food and firewood, because every winter they will freeze to death. So it's a very aggravating little game. I have a love-hate relationship with it because every winter you freeze and starve. And so the joy of it is trying to figure out the balance of resources that you need to keep your city going. And then once you do that, your population crashes out because you forgot to build houses so they would reproduce and build up a new generation.
So when you screw up, thousands die. Is that one of the themes of the game?
Yes, except for you can't get to thousands. My best population so far is about 143 adults. One of the things we've talked about in the past is the gamification of things, giving us achievements in order to keep us working at a goal. So this game has, I think, 36 achievements available. I've gotten 3 of them, and I was damn happy to get those 3. My big achievements are that I got my population over 100 and kept them happy for 10 years, and I got my population over 100 and kept them healthy for 10 years. And then I also got a trader achievement, which really isn't all that hard, as long as you can keep goods in your trade center. But
So it sounds a little stressful.
It is. It really stresses me out, and it makes me angry, and that's why I have to keep playing. It's one of those things for us terrible little micromanagers in the world who have to be in charge of all of this, and you have to tell your little people to go over there, but you cannot tell these people what to do. You can tell them, I want you to go harvest these trees over there. And they will, but they will break for lunch or decide to go home, and you can't make them do anything. It's kind of like The Sims in that regard. You only have so much control over your people. So you are set with a finite space on your game space, and you only have so many trees, and you only have so many rocks, and you only have so much iron. You have to somehow find enough food and learn how to farm, and you have to trade to get seeds to grow certain crops or certain trees, etc. and so forth. I don't think you're ever going to get very far in this game if you don't do agriculture, but I have to say Kelly will find this amusing, and that one of my big issues is I want chickens and I want sheep, and they die. It kills me. Because you need sheep for wool so that you can clothe your population and keep them a little bit warmer in the winter. And my sheep pasture, one of the random disasters it likes to throw up at you is that your crop field gets infested with something, or your pasture animals get infected with something. And it never fails. It never fails. It never takes my cows. It kills my sheep. And I'm like, take 50 of my people, kill them, but leave my sheep alone. Kill the people. I don't like them. Leave my sheep. But it takes my sheep every damn time. It is so aggravating. So,
I think it sounds like one of those really complex word problems, that you got in math as a kid of, how many sheep and
Yes,
and
it
how
does.
many of them.
It sort of works out that way. So that's why I said I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this game. I have wasted a lot of, well, I shouldn't say wasted. I've spent a lot of hours playing this game, which is one of the sort of downsides to Steam, is that it actually, when you get into Steam to play your games, it tells you how many hours you've spent playing this particular game, which gets very demoralizing sometimes. But I'm on my third city after crashing my first two cities. This one I've managed to keep going for longer, and that is essentially the point of the entire game, is how long can you survive. So I am building up to, let's see, some of the other achievements are getting to 300 citizens, and then 600 citizens, and then 900 citizens. I really kind of feel that this is impossible, but I have hopes I'll make it. One of my biggest achievements that I'm really looking forward to try to get, though, you can build schools in this little it's a medieval town. You don't, unlike SimCity, your towns don't, you don't upgrade into another era. You don't move into the future. You're basically looking at a medieval type tech level town, and it's never going to get any better. You're just building it bigger. One of the achievements is to reach a population of 300 without building a single school, and I am determined that before I stop playing this game, I will get that achievement, because I just want to have a massive uneducated population. So. Anyway.
So can you name your cities? Are you allowed to name your cities?
When you start the game, you give it a name. So, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to name as many things as possible, so that's, that's my angle.
You don't get to name anything in the game. Your people are all, they're born. Your little notifications will pop up that a child named blah, blah, blah has been born. And then it will also pop up that blah, blah, blah died, or blah, blah, blah died of starvation, or blah, blah, blah froze to death, because every winter you have this problem of chopping enough firewood to keep a large population warm through the winter. And I've done really well in my last city. I was proud until my population crashed because all my people got old and they died, and I hadn't kept my birth rate up, and I didn't have enough kids to work my fields. I need more child labor. So this is where Big Evil Corporation gets started.
Yeah, that's right. Can you buy like a child labor pack or something like that? Just kind of buy it and insert it into the game?
No, but like I said, the game is new. And he is still actively developing it. I'm hoping that we get more type social structures thrown in there. When I play the game, I kind of see an old west town instead of something medieval. I would like them to add different terrain, because most of the game you only have two choices. You're either in like a valley that still has hills that you can't build on, or you can choose to do a really hard game, which is in nothing but mountains. So you probably won't be able to do any farming in the actual mountains. I haven't tried that game because I don't actually like seeing my little people die. Though my second town that crashed, I sat there with it on high speed and just watched it burn, which was kind of fun, kind of sad. But anyway,
disturbing in the least there, Mel.
Yeah, your town can also burn to the ground if you don't build enough wells. I learned that the hard way. So, it's called Banished, and it's by Shining Rock Software, and it's only $19.99. And it's enjoyable if you are one of those micromanager type people who likes these kind of SimCity building games, and you want to test your sustainability culture at trying to keep these annoying little people alive, then you will like this game. It is oddly addictive. As much as it makes you angry, you just can't stop playing. So that's a sign of a good little game. And it's gotten good reviews out there. Most people that have given it a try have felt kind of like I have, that it's horrible in its addictiveness because you just can't get away from it. You have to see, oh, I figured out how to do this. I figured out how to keep firewood So I have to build a new city and start over and manage it better and do all of these things. So it's an addictive little game. I suggest if it's your cup of tea that you give it a try. You may not have heard of it yet since it's new. So that's all I got.
Excellent. So, Alicia, you're not required to give a recommendation where the population all dies, but if you'd like to,
but it's fun.
It's whatever. It's up to you. But we'll go ahead.
Okay.
And, go ahead and have at it.
Okay. Well, so something I do in my free time, I guess, or maybe if there was a time logging device that would show me how much time I spent on food, researching food, cooking food, putting different flavors together, it would be overwhelming, I'm sure. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a chef, although I do love to cook. I think for me, it's more of the science. I really like to see what flavors go well together, and I like mixing things up and seeing what works and what doesn't. And my favorite things, I think, are the most simple. And most recently, I stumbled across this. I don't even know if it's a recipe because it's 3 things, but it is vanilla ice cream, root beer, and Fireball whiskey, which is a cinnamon-infused whiskey.
Now we're talking.
And
yeah,
and this is something that I have tried straight. I've tried Fireball straight, and it, I make the face, and it's really tough. It's hard to do on its own. So of course, adding ice cream and root beer to it can only bring good things. And
yes.
But it's amazing. It's really it's like palate cleansing. I almost feel like I brush my teeth after I drink it. I know that sounds odd, but it's like you're drinking kind of like a big red float, in a way. It's just this cinnamon root beer flavor. I absolutely love it. And
so is it like is it consistency wise? It's like a float consistency where you've got the ice cream still mostly together but infused with.
Yeah, well, how I make it, I actually put a tiny scoop of ice cream at the bottom. I like to make mini floats, partly because they're cute, I'll be honest, and they make a good picture. And also, I feel like I can justify, drinking that and feeling okay about it rather than a big float. But I do probably maybe 1 scoop of ice cream, and then I'll do equal parts of root beer and Fireball, so maybe a shot each, depending on the size of the glass that you have. And it really does just kind of look like a float. I mean, it doesn't mix thoroughly, but it just kind of, it's almost like the ice cream is slowly melting, as you're drinking it. So you get just enough of that creamy flavor, and it's not overwhelming. So it's really simple.
Equal parts root beer and whiskey, or is that to taste and alcoholic tendencies?
Yeah, this is all just a recommendation. So as much, as you would like to use, that is fine. But I've just noticed that seems to work the best. And I get really food geeky over it, and I would recommend even pouring over the root beer first because it kind of foams up, and then pouring the Fireball next because it will kind of glisten over. And again, this is kind of food geekery here, but I really like the appearance that way. So that's been something I've been making. The other thing, super simple, and this has become a daily snack. The Fireball float, or the Fireball root beer float, is not a daily snack. just to update
wink,
you.
Wink.
To make sure that's
Sure.
However, I found this other little recipe, very simple. Greek yogurt seems to be everywhere. And I found a way to make something healthy really unhealthy. So it's I'm adding chocolate chips, honey, peanut butter, and vanilla extract, and calling it chocolate chip cookie dough yogurt. And it's kind of bizarre, but it tastes that way. It really just tastes like this cookie dough yogurt. And something I really like about it is it feels like you're eating something healthy. I mean, in theory, I guess. And so that's how I've been justifying having that almost daily. It's something that really kind of satisfies that sweet tooth, and then also just feels like a nice little snack there. So
and it doesn't sound like it's that unhealthy.
Yeah, peanut butter. There's protein.
It's not bad. Right. It sounds pretty balanced. I mean, a lot of the yogurts that are out there are full of so much bad stuff that's way better than a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well, and And the food geekery behind it would be the mouthfeel, which is quite lovely. And you have the smooth yogurty peanut butter flavors along with this crunchy chocolate chip. I noticed when I was out of chocolate chips last night, I subbed cinnamon in its place, which that's just not the same. It's not really worth doing.
So do you have a preferred Greek yogurt?
I like Fage, I believe is how you pronounce it. I think Fage. I'm also fine with. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm also fine with Chobani, although lately I've been hearing some mixed reviews about that. But I still like it, and I'm all about the plain Greek yogurt. It's become a staple on my grocery list. It's one of those things that I pick up, that you get the butter, the Greek yogurt, the milk, the eggs. Like, that's what I got when we had all these blizzard warnings. It's like, get stuck up on the Greek yogurt. So I love it.
I had some trouble adjusting to Greek yogurt at first, but I'm not a big yogurt person, and once you get used to it, because it does have a different, I don't know, almost like a bite to it to me.
Does.
From a dairy, from a regular yogurt. So I took some time getting used to it, but yeah, I like both of those brands myself. Yeah.
Good.
I have trouble eating them straight. I usually put a little bit of flavored stevia in them just to cut some of the bite down from it. But yeah, I'll have to try mixing some peanut butter and some chocolate chips in there. That'd be good.
Give it a try.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
So the other recommendation I have is nothing necessarily new, but the new Wes Anderson movie, Grand Budapest Hotel, is going to be released this month. I am a big Wes Anderson fan. I have been ever since Rushmore came out, which I believe is late 90s, I want to say, maybe early 2000s. I have to look it up. But Rushmore is probably my favorite movie of all time. And so when I heard, I even had a Rushmore party. Like people have the Big Lebowski party. I actually had a Rushmore party. Cool. And I gave away a kite. It was very silly. Had a lot of fun. And I guess my recommendation was, because this is what I've been doing per the release of the new movie, is going back and watching the Wes Anderson collection. So I have watched Royal Tenenbaums. Over the weekend I watched Bottle Rocket, and I watched The Life Aquatic, which I think I fell asleep the first time that I watched it, and I don't really know why, because it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. Bill Murray at his best, probably, in that movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed The Life Aquatic myself.
Yeah. So, and then Darjeeling Limited, I watched that as well a couple of weeks ago, just to do a rewatch of that. And I really love what he brings as a director. I love these characters who are kind of likable but flawed. I don't want to say I'm a big fan of flawed things, but I do feel that it's this, it makes us human, and there's something really beautiful about that. And I think that Wes Anderson definitely brings that to light within his characters. It's just something I really admire with his style. I think he's becoming a little more popular now, and I'm going to be one of those people that's like, I liked him when,
Yeah.
But I still do want to promote his work. I think he's quite brilliant, and we've only seen the beginning of what he's capable of. So.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't put together that he did all of those, so I'll have to check those out and look for the similarities. I haven't seen a lot of those. I loved The Life Aquatic. And I've seen Rushmore, but I don't know about. I know I haven't seen the Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums is fun.
Everybody tells me I
enjoy that.
I know. And I get behind if there aren't zombies or monsters in them. I get behind.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Fantastic Mr. Fox. That was another Wes Anderson adaptation from the Roald Dahl book, the children's book.
Yeah, I knew the book.
Yeah, it's this stop motion animation. Great cast, great voice talent, hilarious. It's so funny. It's good for both kids and adults. Great.
That's cool.
And I love him.
Yeah, I'll have to step outside of my normal genres and check some of those out.
I know. Cool. When I first, I think, noticed his popularity is when I've seen these parodies of him, And, just these clips going around. I think actually Saturday Night Live most recently did a parody of him with Edward Norton, I believe, in it. And it's so funny. But, that's just a sign, I guess, that his popularity is really coming about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll have documentation that you were all over this before he became huge, and you knew.
Yes.
You knew. Go back to the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
So on your first set of recommendations, and I don't believe I've formally staked out this position in this forum before, but I have in many other forums that I am no fan of photos of food. This is one of my core things is that it's just so that's my general direction. But I will in here is that you put up a few. It's not a constant.
Every once in a while.
But for really good for a food pick, excellent. I'm just not a food pick guy, but these are actually pretty cool. So
Kelly, I'd watch it because I'll just put out a call on Twitter for everybody to start sending you food picks like the kittens.
Yeah,
food picks and kittens. You might get a storm again.
Awesome, but hers are great. Actually,
I know it's not for everyone, and I will say this. I don't know if this brings you comfort or not, but I only post the photos of the food that is yummy. I don't post anything. If I did eat something, I don't like it, but I just like the way it looks, I won't post it. It always has to be something that should be as good as it looks. That's my criteria.
No, okay. I will give you props for yours. That was not yours are, and that's really what I wanted to point out was that my general bias is not to have anything nice to say about said picks, but yours are okay.
Right.
Pretty good. I like them.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And so we'll go ahead and move into my recommendation, which will allow Alicia to post her food picks with tremendous ease and capability across every platform possible. Yes. What I'm going to recommend, it's a website/service. It's called IFTTT. If This, Then That is what IFTTT is short for. And you create recipes in IFTT to do different things. You can select up to 82, there are currently 82 channels available that you basically then combine in different ways. So Blogger, your calendar, Delicious, the bookmark site, Craigslist, Facebook, Evernote, email. These are all apps you can enable. And then you can start to create these equations to say, and so like one of the ones I do is when I post a photo in Instagram, typically a non-food photo, I'd like to point out at this point, but when I post a photo in Instagram, I have a rule that says when you post one there, go to my Evernote, and I've got a folder in my Evernote called Instagram, and it automatically backs the photo up and puts it on Evernote as well. So just from there, so you can combine all sorts of different things. Mel, there's a WordPress connection, so that in theory, if I wanted to put in the effort, which I haven't so far, sorry, it's like work, it's effort. When we post some of our blog posts for nurture and support, could connect it to say, wait, when that thing posts, kick out a tweet automatically, or put a post in Blogger, or add it to a calendar, or send out an email, or do an RSS feed. So. It's a really handy little site. It has everything from YouTube to Tumblr to Twitter to New York Times articles to weather to a number of Belkin accessories where they call them Wemos, the switches, light switches, motion detectors. You can connect with those. So you can say at this time turn on this Wemo switch or turn off this Wemo switch. You can tie it to a phone call. Your contacts on an iOS device or the iOS location. When I get to this location, do that. So the tons and tons of opportunities. They create, like I said, 82 channels. I've got 21 of them activated. They also then pull up featured examples. And what you do is when you create them, you share them. You share your recipe. Hey, I created this. So if you go to what their featured ones are, there would be examples of, upload new Instagram photos to Flickr. If I star an email in Gmail, create a reminder to take care of it, so you can start using the stars for that. every day at 7 a.m., send me a text message with today's weather. So you can just kind of build as many of these as you want to. When you change your Facebook profile picture, change your Twitter profile picture. So all sorts of different little things from there.
So I'm not going to need a degree in programming to do this, right, though? Because this is starting to sound complicated, but I'm glad that you brought this up, because I only became aware of this very recently and had to look it up what people were meaning when they were giving out that little, IF, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, that, and I had to look it up. And so I'm glad you're talking about this, because I didn't understand what it was about.
Yes, for 98% of the stuff, no programming degree necessary.
Okay.
And because it's pretty much once you activate the different platforms, then you kind of, within them, it gives you certain triggers to say, okay, so what do you want to do when you change this, when you change that? And it's pretty much building together. The really nice thing about it is that you can go do, I know this is going to be a shock to you, Mel, I'm kind of a lazy guy. And so rather than actually create the stuff myself, if somebody else has already done it, I'll go ahead and grab it. So you can go in and do searches on like the weather, or the biggest one, and Alicia and I can identify with the weather around here lately. So my little if this then that about when a severe weather warning comes, send me a text message. That buddy's been running nonstop from around here. Flood warning, more snow, ice storm, earthquake, everything just kind of firing our way. But they do a great job. But you can basically just do a search, typically like on, I want to, when I tweet something, and I use this hashtag, I want it to post to Blogger. Then you just do a search on Twitter and Blogger, and you'll probably find you can post your recipes when you create them. So for nine times out of 10, you're just gonna be able to steal something somebody else, not even steal, they're sharing it. So you can go ahead and borrow or repurpose what they've already done. You can automatically retweet if you want to do some of those types of things. So it's just tons and tons of things about every major platform you can think about, and then all sorts of interesting ways to combine things. So what I need to do, a gentleman I work with, his name's Matthew Montalta, he actually recommended this to me. And then because I got so excited about it and started telling other people about it, he has accused me of stealing his thunder to say, hey, I told you about it, and here you are telling all these other people. So I really can't ever bring up if this, then that, without saying, hey, I didn't find it originally. Matthew pointed me to it, and I appreciate it very much. But just so we can cut his whining down, I wanted to make that clarification.
Okay.
Maybe I'll create a recipe that does that in the future.
Yeah. So this is a free service, I take it?
This is a free service, my favorite kind. The website's ifttt.com, and really straightforward, big icons, pictures, and it's, they have trend, it's kind of the social thing in terms of here are the ones that are trending, these are the ones that are popular, here are new ones. If you're interested in things with Tumblr, here are the ones for Tumblr. So pizza cake, if you've got accounts, which I know everybody on this podcast does, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you can do all sorts of fun things to combine them, or things that are useful to you. So it's worth a look.
Yeah, because less work is always better.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you'd have another profile then as well on IFTT?
You create an account there. So you'll log in and create an account, and then you can basically kind of platform by platform activate. So like I logged into IFTT gave my email address and set up a password. So now I'm an IFTTT user. I go to their 82 things, and I click on Twitter, and I put in my credentials for Twitter. I click on Facebook, put in my credentials for Facebook. I click on text messaging and give my phone number for that, and you just kind of move through. So fun stuff, yeah. I would recommend going to the website and click on their the listing of the different platforms they support. They call them channels. And so for instance, you could create a rule to say anytime BuzzFeed talks about Alice Cooper, which they don't enough to my way of thinking, but you could have it tweet you. Say, yep, there's a new Alice Cooper article on BuzzFeed, etc.
Okay. I could set that up for corgis, and then my phone would go off constantly, as it should be.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad you explained that to me because, yeah, I recently heard about that and didn't understand really what they were talking about. And that sounds very, very useful to a large number of people.
Yeah. I used to code. They made me stop for the common good, and I can still use this very effectively. So you don't have to be good at coding, obviously, if I'm using it. So it's worth a look. It's pretty easy.
I haven't coded since things were in little pixels and DOS in the 7th grade. So
I just got a new laptop with the touch screen, so I found that to be really handy, and that I just want to, it's like, okay, I'm not sure what to do, and I'm like, I'm just going to touch the screen, and I found that works out really easy. The tough part is when you get used to it, then you want to do that with other computers. You want to do that where...
or start touching your TV
doesn't
screen.
Work. Right.
That's one of those things. I want to touch my TV screen nowadays. So.
Yeah, and just move things over,
Right. Yeah, that's in my way. Why won't this app jiggle and move?
Right.
Yeah. This is the world we live in.
Yeah, I've got a Galaxy 4, and so you can do wave your hand over the top of it to kind of activate it to see the what time it is without having to click it, or when you're actually in the photo library, you can kind of do the swipe with your hand over it, and you can go page, kind of flip through. That's another one that you look a little silly when you try and apply that to a device that does not have those interface of waving my hand over an iPad, and it doesn't seem to care.
Right.
A lot.
I've wondered how that works. I mean, is there some way that it knows that it's not an inanimate object waving over it? Or do you have to be within so much distance of the screen? Because I have an iPhone. My iPhone doesn't do that.
Yeah, it appears to be, it's because I've kind of noticed, certainly not an inanimate versus an animate object in terms of that distinction. It's something, it's a light sensor of some sort, camera running of some sort that says, it just got real dark, it got light again, it got real dark, it got light again. So when it picks up kind of that pattern of, okay, I'm very rapidly moving back and forward from light to dark, then it makes the assumption, oh, you want the time, and it's kind of that quick little status screen to come up.
Yeah.
And I've caught sometimes just simply reaching over the phone to get something, I'll trigger it unintentionally. So it's kind of a light meter thing.
Okay. Yeah, I have the iPhone with the fingerprint sensor. Cute.
So all I gotta do is cut your hand off. I can steal your phone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, I deactivated it the other day, so you don't even have to do that now.
Not your hand.
No, the fingerprint scanner.
Oh, good. Okay.
It was slowing me down.
Got no time for fingerprints.
Right. I don't have time for that crap. I need to get in this app right now. So.
Cool. All righty. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our our Twitter recommendations for the week. I warned you, Alicia, about that. Are you have one you would care to share?
Sure. Yes. I wanted to recommend so there is this social foodie community, and it is at Foodie Chat, FOODIECHAT.
Spelling is hard. Spelling is hard, isn't it?
But when I talk to them, I just have to hit at and then one letter.
Right.
So the Foodie Chats it's a nice little community. I believe they started in Chicago. They actually have Foodie Chats sessions or chat sessions on Monday nights around 7 p.m. Where they have a sponsor. So whether that's, Krispy Kreme donuts or, the Ninja Blender, they've had all these different kinds of food-related sponsors that ask various questions, and it gives just people like me an opportunity to talk about food. It gets very funny, very silly. There's no right answer. It's always kind of just what you want to share with other people. It also gives you a chance to brag about something you made, share those pictures that, Kelly might not want to see.
In the meeting.
with this community, and, you get the responses back of, could I have that recipe, or that looks awesome, great job. You get that kind of, those accolades, also are a part of that. So I've really enjoyed being a part of that for a while.
Cool.
Mel?
So you want me to go next?
Yes,
okay.
please.
Well, I had no idea that Alicia was a foodie. And so my Twitter recommendation is actually at Foodimentary today. I like them because they like to tell you that today is National Cheese Doodle Day, which today is. We are recording on March 5th, and today is National Cheese Doodle Day. And I didn't know that until at Foodimentary told me.
So was yesterday Pancake Day then? Is that?
I believe it was. From what I hear, it was Pancake Day yesterday.
Have you always noticed, like, it's always really good food? It's always, like, the best, yummy. Like, it's never National Lima Bean Day or something.
I haven't come across a National Tofu Day.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Huh.
But, yeah, at Foodimentary, they just pass on little food facts and fun. Sometimes they will tell you gross things about food that you probably wish you didn't know about things that are in something. But, anyway. It's interesting. I like to know it. It's just little fun facts of things about food because we all eat food or we wouldn't be here.
Very, very good point, Mel.
Yes, it's an excellent point.
Yeah. I kind of knew Alicia was a foodie, but my Twitter recommendation has nothing to do with food.
Okay.
It has a little bit to do with blue milk.
Blue milk is good.
Blue milk. So it is Unseen Star Wars. UNSEEN Star Wars. So you couldn't do the Star Wars part. Rare Star Wars stuff is the description, and it's behind-the-scene footage, photos, occasionally videos, particularly the original trilogy. So you get, their kind of cover photo is Luke and Darth Vader in the big battle at Bespin, but the shot that they show with their lightsabers crossed or with the prop lightsabers, it's before they dropped in the coloring and all that kind of stuff. So it's like straight off the set kind of stuff. You can also get, all the different places where people have done knockoff Star Wars action figures. Apparently in Poland, doing bootleg figures of Boba Fett was big. So they've got some shots of that. The original Boba Fett outfit, a picture of the skiff from the Dune Sea with Jabba's skiff is, all backstage by a van and all those types of things. So some really, really cool photos and background. A bunch and I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I've seen a lot of these things. This gives a pretty steady diet of things I've never seen before. And so it's worthwhile. So it's Unseen Star Wars. And I'd recommend that one for some non-food related viewing as well. So Alicia, it's been awesome to have you on. We want to make sure we give you a little bit more time to make sure folks know where they can find out more about your band. I don't know if you wanted to go ahead and share any of that.
Okay, yeah. We are also on Twitter. We are at Alchemy. And that is, should I spell it again?
Just try.
I know, that's hard to say. At OHALCHEMY. Not to be confused with Alchemy Girl, which would be me. So, but I'd recommend following both of those accounts. And also, we do have a website where we have MP3s. We have all of our music videos. And that can be found at www.oalchemy.com. We also have 2 full-length albums out, if we can still call them albums. They are found on iTunes, and really you just search for our band name again. So it's just Alchemy. We have one. Our first album is called Diplomat, and our second is called Easy Answer. And all songs are original. I wrote all of the words, and I sing all the words on them as well, and are performing them with my really good friends and bandmates who I'm very fortunate to work with. So hope you give us a listen.
That's the thinking there, because I have nowhere near your talent, but when you write the words and they're the only person that know the words, you get to sing the words.
Yeah.
So that's a good angle to take, but you wouldn't need to do that because you actually have talent. But for some of us who don't have talent, it's an angle. You can use it as an angle too. So
it's something I love to do. I really enjoy it, and every time I write a new song or I pick up the ukulele, it's just a good reminder of how much I love to do it, and it's great to be able to share that with others.
And the ukulele is so hot right now.
It is.
It is.
I've only had it, well, I guess I've had it for about, maybe I'm going on 2 years now that I've had it. And there are less strings, and it is smaller. So it has its advantages there, too. And this is this is always what I say about the ukulele, is you cannot be sad and play the ukulele. I don't think it's possible. So, if you ever want to, get out of a funk, kind of mood or something, pick up a ukulele and just strum it. Even if it doesn't, sound the way you want it to, it's going to cheer you up. It'll make you smile.
I might need 5 or 6 or 10 of those then. I sadly have no musical talent whatsoever, but I do enjoy music, so I will check that out, and we will definitely have links up on the blog post to all of that to make it easy for everyone to find. That sounds cool. I'm going to go check it out right now.
Also, thank you for having me on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for joining us, because we like having new people around to give us things that we don't know about. Kelly and I sometimes get a little too zombified, and I needed new music and movie recommendations to get me out of my zombie monster rut. So, thank you.
Yes, definitely. Thanks. Loved having you on. Don't be surprised if you get tapped on the shoulder for a future invite as well.
Yes.
Sure.
To remind folks, if you need reminding in terms of where to find our podcasts and stuff, you can go to nurtureandsupport.net, and you will get to the blog, which will have a summary of each show, links to everything we talk about, and the actual podcast itself. We're on iTunes. Search on Nurture and Support. We'd love it if you listen to us and enjoy us to post a review. The update, as usual, is the knitters are still kicking our butt in the hobby category, so a few more reviews couldn't hurt. There, at NertandSup on Twitter, NertandSup@gmail. You can send us emails and give us recommendations. We'd love to share some of your recommendations. If you can't join us personally, if we can share what you send to us in email. Mel and I just discovered we have a couple of those we had missed in our email, so we're pretty excited about that. So we'll be working those into the next couple shows. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it, and we're very happy that some of our dedicated listeners sent us some recommendations and things to read other than spam, because the spam is really getting us down. So thank you so much, everyone, and like Kelly said, we're going to be rolling those out over the next couple of shows to share all those with all of you.
Alrighty. And with that, I'm going to say thanks again to everybody, and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Nurturing and supporting Tornado.